Hello, my name is Justin Odell. I'm currently in the master's program of assessment, curriculum, and teaching at Millersville University. I work in the Middletown area school district, and I work there as a third grade teacher. This will be my fourth year teaching. Passions are I do a lot of coaching on the side for baseball, exercising, outdoors. I like the outdoors, doing stuff outdoors. Um, it is interesting for me going hiking, traveling different places. And below is a picture of me, and my wife. I included on here. Prior experiences with teaching or being an online teacher and being an online learner. So when I was in college, we used Canvas for college courses. I thought it was a very organized platform. I liked using it once I got the hang of it. Professional development opportunities. As an online learner, I was able to take some courses and learn a little bit about some online platforms and some cool tools you can use as a teacher. When I was in college, we took a lot of unique courses that would help adapt the online instruction to now the classroom, and that was before the pandemic hit or anything with that. So it was kind of nice to have some of that when we had to go to asynchronous learning or the hybrid model in 2020. Reading posts online and responding to discussion posts. As an online learner, that was the most common thing I felt happened. Most of the courses in my undergrad and college, I would just respond to discussion posts and then read. And already I'm seeing in this course, it's already more interactive from the professor, so I'm glad to see that he wants us to get to know each other more already. And this is a new thing with the screen recording, so it's already a new experience, and it's kind of changing up things. Increased teacher interaction with students. I put that quote in there because as an online learner, I have had some professors that have really interacted and kept in touch and kept me updated throughout the course when I had any questions, and some that I have not really had a connection with. So I kind of sometimes feel like online teaching can feel at loss because you can't connect with that teacher in person or ask them questions or kind of see facial expressions or have a tone of voice with them. As an online teacher, I taught through the pandemic through synchronous and asynchronous learning. I used platforms such as Google Classroom, Google Slides to teach lessons and to instruct. And then we had a lot of Zoom meetings throughout that time with our colleagues, my other third grade teams over at other schools. A lot of it was Zoom, so it was a lot of learning within a box, as you would say, because we were all on Zoom all the time and trying to figure out what best practices would work for our children when we had half our class in the classroom and half our class at home on Zoom. So it was definitely an interesting experience to be a part of that, and I was a little frustrated with the technology issues that I had at my school with connectivity, Wi-Fi, assignments not loading that my students worked very hard on, and there's nothing I could really do about it, even after working with technology. The next one was skills audit for online teaching. So if I were to do a skills audit, some skills I feel like I would have developed from reading the passages were the content and subject area knowledge. I really take pride in preparing my content and making sure I'm using the best practice when I'm preparing for lessons in the classroom. So I think I could take that and carry it over to online teaching pretty easy. I really like to interact with others and try and figure out what's working best for them. So you would still have that with all the Zoom platforms and all the professional development, any specialists that you could talk to, or any people that have experience with technology for a while would really help to even further the advancement of content and subject area knowledge. I put in the article, The Online Teacher. It states that teachers are frequently asked to modify curriculum, so I do that on a daily basis. When I see my students' needs, if they're not being met, I change my instruction to meet their needs. So I feel like that would carry over with formal and informal assessments. I also put, I think it would carry over with time management, adapting instruction, and recognizing learning needs, because it's kind of similar from the classroom to online with that, I feel, where you're still managing time, you're still adapting instruction, even though it might look a little different on technology, and you're still recognizing when students are struggling based off assignments they're handing in or based off of their interaction with you through the camera. So you could see if they're really interested or not, or if they're using the tools you're recommending or using the different things you're giving them to use for the course. Are you changing things up, or are you keeping it the same, and how are they responding to that? So, whoops, I might put that up. Continued. Okay, so continued. If some skills I felt like I would not carry over into online teaching, I would have some trouble with, was online communication skills. Sometimes when you're wording stuff through messages or emails, it can be very confusing for others to read. So I was reading in the passage by Moskowitz that you can have maybe a voice option so students can hear your tone. So I think that would definitely take some time to get used to. And with the frequency of messaging on online learning, you really have to check it. I think it's at 5. You're supposed to log on at least 5 times throughout the week, and even more, I would think. It'd be a lot of communicating, a lot of checking your email, a lot of messaging, which I'm still getting used to, being still kind of a novice teacher, not really have a lot of experience yet. I think I would need some more in order to really be effective as an online educator. Prior online experience, my online experiences have not been good so far, so I think when I have that in the back of my head, it's really going to give me a struggle at first to want to be an online teacher. But I think if I have a better understanding of how to work with technology issues such as connectivity and using those prior experiences to make my platform better, whatever I'm using to set up my content for the students, I think it would really help. But I still think I need a lot more experience with that and technology skills, which again is the connectivity issues. I've had a lot of those in the classroom, and I did help a lot of students, but sometimes it takes so much time and it does get very frustrating, so that patience part would really step into play when I am doing any technology related assignment. Okay, moving on to the next slide is the national standards for quality online teaching versus face-to-face. So we are asked to find similarities and differences, and then which ones would be the most challenging for us. So I said similarities. A lot of similarities would be professional responsibilities. Those look the same. We all have responsibilities in teaching, and we have our contract and what we're supposed to be doing and our mission goals. So I think that was kind of carry over for both. Community building, I think, even though it looks different through an online community, you can still interact and have fun polls or fun ways to interact with your class to build a community. And I think it's a strong way to let your class know that you're really engaged and ready to be their teacher and be there for them in case they need help. So I feel like that goes both ways, and it would carry over. Learner engagement, again, with knowing your content. That's just, I've done that before, and we have snow days where you're now required to do online learning. So I've kind of already carried that over myself by practicing that and by having the pandemic. Diverse instruction, making sure you're meeting all the students' needs. And assessment and measurement, make sure you're using the correct assessment tools, which again I think would carry over with practice. Some differences and some challenges I said would be digital pedagogy. If you're not familiar with digital instruction or digital materials, I think it would be very hard for you to be effective with online teaching at first, and I think with it taking some time, it would be a bit of a change, and there would be a lot of differences there. Same with knowing all the ethical rules. I was talking to my principal lately, and even he said when he was an instructor for a course, he said he even tried to make it so it fits what the people taking the course wanted to learn, and he would ask them what they wanted to learn and then make certain instruction based off that. And a lot of it coming up was ethical things. I don't think a lot of people know ethical and legal issues, and myself, I was still need to learn all those for online learning. And instructional design, thinking about what is the best way to set up your learning materials, and what's an easy interface to an easy interface to access everything, and to make it user friendly would be a change at first, because if it's not user friendly, it's going to make the course unorganized. There's going to be a lot of questions, and it's going to be very confusing for the students taking your course. And last but not least is the challenges of online teaching. Time. I was reading the article, and it said teaching online takes a lot of preparation, decision making, and familiarity to new technology. And I believe that a lot of time checking all the assignments, making the content, keeping everyone updated, and being familiar to the new platform. It would take a little bit of time, and it would be a lot of after late nights, early mornings doing that. And I think it would be rewarding, but it also would be taxing at some points. And then student issues. So again, if that happens with technology issues, and if you are on an online platform, sometimes you can't really understand the personal lives of the students and know what their needs are for instruction. So I think you're missing that when you're online. You don't usually have that problem with face-to-face, because you see them every day, you interact with them. And sometimes you can't see those things over online when they're in a little box. You're not around them all the time. Sometimes they leave it, or their screens are off. So I think, or they're not with you for instruction because they're doing something offline. So I think it would definitely be a difference with online teaching and the challenges that would be brought upon teachers. But I think it would definitely be rewarding once you figured out how to work around all of the challenges with online teaching.